My name is Maria Giorlando, your International Role Model Ms. 2021, and you're watching the Pageants and PJs podcast.
Good evening, everyone. Let me just unmute our guest. For some reason, the software muted everyone except her. I didn't want her to be caught on during the introduction saying something. Our special guest for tonight is Maria Giorlando, who has a fancy new crown. Maria, well done. How are you?
I am very good. I'm happy to be back on and excited to chat about everything I've been up to.
You want to start with the what's happened with the hardware on your head? Fill us in with all the details.
Oh, yes, we've got this headache producer here. No, I love it. So the last time that we chatted was at the end of April, and I mentioned that I was going to be representing Canada at the Royal International Miss Pageant in Orlando, Florida, which we chatted about, Danny, is very similar to the Galaxy style of pageant, the youth glitzy-based pageant. And there are two titles that could have been won, and I won the role model, the international role model title, which is a whole international title in itself that has its own set of scoring and responsibilities and adventures. So I was lucky to be one of the top 2 women that went home that day in my division with a title, and now I get the whole year to reign with 13 other sister queens from around the world with this organization. So definitely, it's something that I remember Danny saying to me. She's like, "You've got this. Like, I can see it in you. I can feel it in you." And now that it's here, I just feel so blown away. And they've given us incredible opportunities to travel. We just announced we're going to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in a couple weeks, literally in 2 weeks. We just got back from New York Fashion Week. So this is a different caliber of competition that I've never even thought I would enter or win with. And it's just had so many cool opportunities in only 2 months of being the title holder. So that's the newest kind of thing that's been up with me.
That is amazing that you get to travel with it so much. That's insane.
Yeah. Even being in the pandemic, there's still weirdness going on with that, but we're happy to be able to still do that as safely as possible with the group.
It's hard not to be jealous. I mean, here in Australia, with the way COVID's going, I mean, I think we can see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. We're talking now about our Freedom Day, our version of Freedom Day, which the UK had. Ours is supposed to be, in my state anyway, sort of middle of October. But it's so bad here, for example, that we're not sending a contestant to Miss World finals. There won't be an Australian contestant at Miss World. I don't think I'm spilling the beans on that. I think that's fairly common knowledge now. So yeah, they've decided not to appoint anyone because there's no way that we can run the state finals in time. So it's amazing. I love the fact, Maria, that you get to travel so much with your system. So in terms of what opportunities the system has opened up for you, can you just give us an overall idea as to what opportunities you're looking forward to? I mean, for example, you just mentioned you got back from Fashion Week, so that must have been exciting.
Yeah, it was. So one of the designers was a sponsor and a judge of the international pageant. So Mark Defang, who almost every pageant gal knows about, he invited us to walk in his activewear show. And along with That's My Dress, which is another one of the international sponsors. So we got to walk for her as well. And then in the midst of the craziness, we were also able to walk for a third designer from Queen Closet. So that was kind of spur of the moment, just new opportunity that in the past, the last year.
Oh.
Well, Danny, how are you?
Swiftly moving on. Bless us. Let's get Maria back in.
We'll give it a bit of time. Were you hearing a little bit of crackling, or was that just me?
A little bit, yeah. It was a bit glitchy.
Yeah. Okay,
but
let me here.
I'm very
just give me a second.
thank you.
That's good. Okay, so Maria has connected, but I've got no camera there. Just give us a sec.
By the way, if anyone that's watching can hear any noise in the background, that is in fact my kittens going wild.
No, we can't hear any cats
Okay.
gone wild. That sounds like a new reality TV show. That's a calendar to be made.
They are very noisy.
Maria, we were just saying there's a little bit of crackling, I think, coming from your AirPods, which we do get every now and then. Do you want to just try disconnecting your AirPods and just using the standard phone mic, and we'll see if that's better, because I don't want it. Yeah. All right, so just disconnect it.
Disconnected.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we can hear you. Just say something so we can hear if there's any crackling.
Can you hear me?
It's not crackling, but it did glitch a little bit for me.
Yeah, I think it's the internet connection a little bit. That would also explain why Maria. Yeah, I don't know what it is about AirPods. AirPods are one of those pieces of kit that's so expensive, and then anyway. Maria, you were saying you were talking about Mark the Fang, which is popular enough that even I know who that is. So continue.
Yes, so that was one of the additional things, but included with our prize package, there's a scholarship for each of the winners, along with a lot of other items and memorabilia. But the main thing is that as the role model title holder, myself and the other 6 title holders in the other division, we get to kind of create, we all went in with our own international service project. If we won, this is essentially what we would want to do. And so what we've been doing is we've been having meetings as to what we want this service project to be. So out of all of the countries and all of the hundreds of delegates around the world that participate in Royal International Miss each year, they are going to be kind of invested in this project that we are going to be announcing in a few weeks' time. So it's going to be something that we've all collaborated on. It's going to have a common theme, and it's going to be something that we get to share around the world in the different communities. And it's usually around one theme or topic of a platform. And because we all come from different places, we all get to have the input of the different countries and the different women, and we literally get to make a widespread impact around the world with our service project. So that's something that is unique to just the role model title that I don't know many other systems have as well, that it's very organized in that way.
That's amazing.
It is. How do you manage to actually agree on like on the platform? I mean, there's so many. I often feel for you pageant girls, just to pick an advocacy for yourself is difficult. How on earth do you get a group of you to agree on which one? That had to be tough.
Yeah, and I don't want to give too much away, because in the past we've kind of done one different thing every month, but we had a way that we were able to incorporate all of them. Like, you kind of find the common themes, whether it's education or health-based. And let's just say that within our service project that we're crafting right now, there is a common theme that we want to put forward. And then each month there might be a different initiative, whether it be fundraising, collection items, volunteer initiatives, that all align with that theme. And I will say each person is so passionate about their own projects, and everyone is so supportive that even if it's not my service project that's picked, I'm still more than happy to support one of the other ones, because they all have a great message behind it. And it's something that we can do no matter where you are in any country, no matter what you have resources at your disposal. So that's kind of what we want to do, because we have to make sure that we're appealing to the women in the UK, women in Canada, different women around the world. So while we don't always, I want mine to be the one that's picked so bad, I understand that it might be something else. So we're all understanding in that way.
I'm going to watch that with a lot of interest, because coming up with good service projects, good platforms, good advocacies, and then implement. I think it's one thing to come up with a good idea, but actually implementing them really well is often difficult. And I think Maria, Danny, are you hearing crackling now when Maria isn't talking, or is that just me?
Yeah, I hear it from you.
Yeah,
and I think myself. I think that's probably, I can hear myself probably through Maria's audio, but I can hear crackling whenever you speak. I think you are the problem here, Adrian.
I think we've got a feedback loop going on. Maria, can you put the AirPods back in, and we'll just go with that.
In, out, shake it all about.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be me, because it wasn't me before. It's probably some weird loop. Yeah, if you've got a wired pair, it's just easier.
Always.
Whilst Maria untangles the spaghetti that is her headphone cables, Danielle, bring us up to speed with how your week's been. You have 2 new babies, apparently.
I do. I have 2 very loud fur babies. They are rag dolls. So I've got little baby Bobs running around the house.
God.
They are little terrors. They were so shy and nervous when we brought them home, but now they're just running a riot around the house. I haven't started scratching the furniture yet, which is a good sign. We have got them a scratching post.
Mm-hmm.
But cats aside, had quite a busy week actually. So
You selling any more pool tables?
the pool table went. So you'll be happy to know that we did get rid of the pool table eventually. The people that bought it are the people that were buying the lease to the office that we were moving out of. So it was
That's not
great.
fair. So basically, if they didn't buy it, they would have had to get rid of it themselves. So Maria, I don't know if you saw last episode, Danielle was saying for work she needed to sell her work second-hand, 25th hand pool table. So by the sounds of it, she finally offloaded it onto the people who took over the lease.
Yeah. And because I went backwards and forwards about 100 people on Marketplace, they were trying to like get it down to a ridiculous price, and people couldn't pick it up, and because it's a really heavy vintage pool table, what we would have in pubs out here. So if anyone's ever been to a British pub and played on a pool table, they've got slate underneath them, so it makes them extremely heavy. So we couldn't shift it. So slate, they're fitted with slate.
No one's going to be able to take that away.
Yeah. So we shifted that, and then on Friday, I thought one of the cats playing up. Friday, I had Deborah Griffiths, now Deborah Thomas's wedding. So she is a pageant girl here in the UK. She was one of my Galaxy sisters, and it was such a beautiful day seeing her get married. In true stylist fashion, I had a dress ready for her if she needed a backup wedding dress to get changed out of. I was like, it was something that I purchased, and when it arrived, I tried it on. I was like, these are not my measurements. This will fit Deb's. So, and it was white, and I thought I'll just bring it along and I'll just give it to her. She doesn't have to wear it on the wedding day. She can maybe wear it like at a pageant, or like just as like a little gift. Basically, I'm not going to wear it, so, and I can't be asked for the hassle of selling something. So I thought it'd be perfect for her. It was like fate, basically, because she was the first person I thought of when it arrived, and so I gave it to her on her wedding day, and she looked at me. She was like, "What?" And yes, she then sends me a video later. She's on the dance floor. She's taken her wedding, because her wedding dress had a really long train on it, and obviously you don't want to ruin the wedding dress. So she slipped into the dress that I gave her, and she sent me a video of her partying on the dance floor in it, which was really, really nice. And then that evening we had Miss Great Britain, which our good friend Eden McAllister won. And Kat Henry and also Kirsty Fletcher. So it was 3 crowns that night, and we just partied the night away. And then Saturday came back home, and just all of my attention's been taken up with the kittens, and also because we wasn't on last week. In between then it was Miss Wales, and I had the honour.
You've got a good memory. So Maria, this is Miss World Wales.
Miss World Wales.
We had Gabriella Dukes on several times, and I've interviewed her. She had a 2.5-year reign because of the way COVID worked. Actually aged 3 years. But Danielle, you were quite busy there, weren't you?
I was very busy. Not going to lie, I'm still busy now with the photos. So Paula Abandonado is the director of not only Miss Wales but Miss Universe Great Britain. She asked me if I wanted to be the official photographer. And this is my first live pageant photography gig. So as you can imagine, I was
nervous.
Yeah,
you don't get a do-over, do you?
That was the word. That wasn't the words I was thinking of. But yes, I was very nervous. But it all went down really well. The photos I'm really happy with. I'm still in the midst of organising them all. I took 6,000 photos. So the girls are bound to have some decent photos in there. So it was the gala dinner prior to Miss Wales. So they have a ball, and then the next day I was there, taking pictures of the girls after they came out of their interviews, and then took pictures and rehearsals, and of course the final night. So I'm about 80% of the way through. I made every single girl their own folder and basically organized 6,000 photos and placed whoever was in that photo in their own Dropbox, basically. So
Oh.
yeah, quite. So I've had to
Oh.
go through every single photo, and I took them in JPEG and in RAW, so there's double of each picture. So really, I sorted out 12,000 pictures into each girl's folder. So yeah, I have a whole new appreciation for pageant photographers now. Although most pageant photographers I know just tend to send you a link to all of the images.
Yeah.
But no, I've decided that I didn't want to give other people like to. I know what it's like being a contestant, and when I get a link and I go through all the pictures, I can see the ones where the other girls are like, "I like the arm is here," or do you know what I mean? Like the dodgy pictures, and I don't want other people to see my dodgy pictures, so I just kind of I've organised them all for the girls. So that's been my
That
life
sounds
for the
like
past 2
a lot
weeks.
of work.
Yeah, I don't do things by halves.
No. Oh well, okay. That sounds like it's kept you busy or is keeping you busy. Maria, how have you been since you came back from winning your title? I mean, you've been back. How long ago was it you won your title? I can't even remember. Sorry, it's been a
It
few
was
weeks, right?
It's been 2 months, almost 2 months exactly, actually. So it's funny because the last time that we chatted, I've moved out. I've officially moved out. I'm in my own office space right now, and I had my sister's wedding. So then competing
Oh wow.
internationally, I said, after the pageant, I'm
Remember?
slowing down. I said, I'm going to take a
Nope.
break. I'm going to do things for me. And that
I'm
all went
going
out
to
the
go to New
window.
York Fashion Week. That'll be me slowing down. Not many people say that.
Yeah, everything just picked up times 10 because you're sending in videos, you're sending in content. Now you're having more meetings and planning trips because not only did we have New York Fashion Week to plan, we have our Myrtle Beach trip to plan, and then we also have a couple of more trips in the new year. So just so many things to think about. And then of course, organizing work. When it came to coaching, I had about 20 more coaching requests I had to filter through because most women were competing at the end of August, beginning of September. And I was like, there's only so much I can do in this
Yeah.
next month with everybody. So
Yeah.
everything really did skyrocket in such a great way, such a great way,
Mm.
which I'm really excited about. I just had to kind of reorganize myself and think, okay, if this is what I was able to accomplish now, what am I going to do over the next year? Because this was definitely
Yeah.
a lot more than I realized, right? It's this international level that we all want to get to at some point. And when you're there, it just throws you for a loop a little bit. But it's been really good. Travel, like I said, has been a little bit challenging with missing
Mm.
flights and weather and bags. And that's been the most like thing that I've had to learn to adjust with. But other than that, I've been really supported with the other women that I'm getting to travel with. Carlos is really supportive and letting me just take off. Same with work. So I've been I've been organizing myself in this new way and still kind of learning how me in my everyday life fits into it. Like I'm looking at 5 trophies over in my corner and then my desk and then the crowns over here. And it's definitely a new space to be in.
So it's not actually an office. It's a giant like showroom, basically.
Shrine.
It's like 80% trophies and crowns.
Yeah. And the whole closet filled with gowns and outfits and just gifts and things like that, which I told Carlos, I was like, we're going to be minimalist. Like, we're going to declutter everything. And I just be bringing stuff home with me.
Good
So,
luck with that.
yeah. But I hung up these pictures, which are really kind of cute and swanky and
Cute.
fancy. So it's starting to
Yeah, I
feel
do
like
like
home.
those.
Yeah, it's starting to feel like home and
Okay.
starting to feel normal.
That's good. You know what? We talk about pageant hangover, right? You after the pageant's over, and then you kind of have to go back home and go back to normal life. What has pageant hangover been like for you, given you won at internationals and you've come back, and obviously you've kept busy? Have you had any sort of pageant hangover at all?
Yes, 100%. So I think my pageant hangover it lasted about 3 days to a week or so. And it was this emotion of, who am I when I'm not competing for a pageant? Because in my mind, I wanted to win this international title, which I was going to dedicate at least 10 years to. I thought, if it's not this system, it's another system. I figured 10 years is a good time. It will happen, but I've got to, be generous with the fact that there are other contestants and time and money that I'd have to invest. But I thought, if it's going to take 5 to 10 years, I'm willing to keep putting in that effort. And winning this now, it just kind of made me rethink, why am I competing? What do I want to get out of this? And is this my last competition? Like, who am I when I'm not competing for a pageant? And that did spark a lot of emotions, because I just didn't know who or what I was when I wasn't competing. Because, we have so much purpose in that process of competing and bettering ourselves. And then the goalpost was accomplished. And I thought, okay, wow, I thought this would be 10 years later. So I've been like rethinking about what I want for myself in my life. If I want to compete again, what it would be for and what I'd want to get out of it. And then, of course, also remembering why I wanted this in the first place, and making sure that I'm keeping up with my service with Optimist International and with different just spokesmodel opportunities as well. So yeah, hangover was real. And even though it's at an international level, it still left me feeling like, okay, who am I beneath all of this when there's no crown, no sash? How do I show up? I don't, I've been the title holder that has burnt out before doing too many things. So I just really wanted to align myself with, what do I want this year to look like? What does a successful year look like? And how can I make sure that I'm still taking care of myself throughout the whole process? So it happened. There was a breakdown. It was weird. I was like, I have this crown. Why am I crying? What's happening? And then it slowly got a little bit easier.
You guys cry all the time. You win,
Honestly.
you cry. You lose, you cry. Someone else cries, you cry. You see a cat,
Your
you see
hand
a
over,
dog,
you
you see
cry.
a puppy, you cry. So we need like some sort of tissue sponsor or tears or I don't know, waterproof mascara. You mentioned a 10-year plan, and I saw Danielle looking shocked. I mean, Danielle, you've been in pageantry long enough. You know about 10 years and more.
Like, Maria, no way was it going to take you 10 years to get an international title. It just wasn't. Like, it was never going to be 10 years.
Right. And there were other women that I competed against who've been in pageants for like 10 to 15 years. And I thought, okay, like if I'm where they're at in 10 years down the road, like that's okay. Right. I was willing to go the distance. And yeah, I'm happy it happened much sooner. Everything always happens for a reason. It always seems like this big beast until you get there and you realize, oh, okay, we can all do that at some point. It just depends on where you're at. Everyone goes through their own process. I only started 5 years ago, so I was willing to be generous with my own growth journey, I guess. Maybe I was undershooting what I could actually do.
Well, I think that's a good way to be, because most people set the goalpost too close. And then they don't achieve it, and they either get really disappointed or they use that as an excuse to give up. So a lot of goal setting talks about, setting a bit less and giving yourself a bit more time, because then the idea is that if you then achieve it, you feel good about yourself, like Maria obviously does, and then you're more likely to actually do more. Versus, what a lot of us do is beginning of the week or whenever you do it, you do your to-do list and it has 5,082 things on it. And 5,000 of those are things you've had on your to-do list for the last 5 years and you've just never done them. And it just makes you feel bad. So I actually think the way, Maria, you've done it is probably the smartest way of doing it. You got to have patience, 10 years. How detailed was the 10-year plan?
It wasn't very detailed. It was just more so like, okay, if I'm 26 right now, then I'll age out of Miss in a year or two. So I could probably go back to Miss World Canada. I could possibly try Galaxy Canada, and then I'll enter the Ms division and I'll try my luck at that. And then in 10 years, hopefully I'll be a Mrs. So it was more of just like mapping out what systems I'd want to do in each of the age ranges that I would be in. And that was it. So I knew I would probably want to go back to Royal International Miss, but at the same time, again, there was that part of me that thought, well, if I enter a new system, I got to learn all about it, and it might take me time to win the national title and the international. So yeah, I think I was just overly generous with the time that I had on it. And I'm glad it happened a lot sooner than that. But now I'm like, do I still want to keep competing? Am I still interested in these other systems? That'll be something that I can kind of get to discover after this year.
The beauty of pageantry is you can compete at any age as well. So you can take time off, have a breather. Like you say, having a international title, like you say, it's fear of having burnout because you are doing so much. So I do think it's important sometimes to take a little bit of a break once you've handed over, of course. Once you've handed over, have a break and then reassess then. I mean, 2-3 days after the pageant, being like, oh gosh, what am I doing now? Like, what's happening? I got this international crown. What we're doing is you've got so much time. You've got like, I said that after Galaxy International, you know, if I wasn't to get it, then if I was to come runner up, I'd definitely go back. But if I wasn't to get it, and I don't think I'm in any rush. Like, I feel like I need a good like 5 years out of pageantry, competing, not out of pageantry, just out of the competing, because like, geez, like, was it 13 years? I think I've been involved in this crazy community, and I think only 2 of those years I wasn't competing. So I need a break after this. I'm going to need a break after this, that's for sure. I think I'd like to
well-deserved break.
A well-deserved break. I think I'd want to go away, like focus on other areas of my life, and then if I have kids or whatever, it might be nice to have like a little confidence boost, get back up on stage. That's kind of where the stage that I'm at right now, because you do think about like your pageant career and you're thinking, okay, where is this going? So just like you having like a 10-year plan, what I'm going to do, for me, that's kind of like my 10-year plan.
Right.
Which is inevitable. I am having a break at some point.
Yeah. I just postponed my break. It was supposed to be 2 months ago. Now it'll be after I pass on my title. Then I'll take a little bit of a rest time.
So with being a miss, you do feel like, oh gosh, I need to grab all these opportunities while I'm a miss before I age up to a miss. That is one thing that I always say to the girls that are aging out. Do it. Otherwise you will regret it if you don't do it. Yeah. You always be a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of situation. And it's a shame that like Miss World, Miss Universe, International, Intercontinental, Supernational, they all have their cut-offs for being a miss. And I think you have to live it to its fullest while you're still a miss. And then when you're a miss, it's fine. You can take a 15-year break and come back when you're a glamour.
I know. I competed against glamours. I love that.
Something I didn't actually think, I haven't thought too much about before is obviously as a woman, you have to, if you're setting a 10-year plan, you probably want to also, you've got to juggle the wedding plans, the marriage plans, and the having a family plans as well. So it's not just, you can just focus on one thing, and then you've got your career as well, if you choose to do that. So there's all these, as I say, like women are always trying to do everything at once. And this is kind of the conversation that has to go inside your guys' heads. And it's like, you can't have everything. You can have everything. You just can't have it all at once, is the wisdom that I've been given. Megan here has said 5 years out. I'll believe it when I see it. Well, yeah, I mean, she's not saying that she's going to stop like being part of the community. She's just going to stop competing, right?
Obviously, I'll still be styling and I'll still be snapping away. Like, that's essentially business to me. That's not competing. So I'll still always be around. I'll always be a pageant fan. I'll always be at everything. It's just on the stage and the keeping up appearances part of it, literally keeping up appearances part of it, because it like with having this title for over a year now, I am like not burning out, but now the events will happen again. It's
well over a year now. It's closer to 2 years, I think, than a year.
The situation now in the UK is because everything's opened up, there is something on every single weekend. So it's literally non-stop. I don't ever have like a free weekend. I've told Jordan, if you want a free weekend, I'm booked up to mid-December now. Get your booking in, because it's one. There's something on every single weekend, and I have a really bad habit of saying yes to everything. So So then
I'm sure you're
end
the
up with a
only
sticky
person
wicket.
that suffers from that. I'm sure no one watching, or Maria or myself, have ever been guilty of saying yes to something that we just
And
go,
go,
oh, why did
oh,
I say that?
now
Why did
I've
I
got to
say that?
drive up to Scotland or
Even as you're saying it, yeah, oh, why am I saying yes? Just say no. Just before I forget, let's talk about Canada Galaxy, because that has also happened, I think, since maybe we last on. And I know, obviously, that's Danielle's system, and Maria, you had a client or two there. So, what were your guys' thoughts on Canada Galaxy? I'm sure you were watching.
Yeah, I wasn't able to attend because, like I said, got back. I was the yes person to everything. So schedule is quite booked up.
Hey.
But so it always sucks to not be there, especially because it's been 2 years in the making. But I more so coach women in the older divisions. And I also didn't get the live stream because I was out that day. I forget what it was. But so I was just relying on spamming other coaches that were there to like send me content as to what was going on. I thought it was
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I mean, for what they were able to do, it looked really glamorous. It looked like they had fun with like the circulating camera that was there.
I saw that, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they went a little bit beyond schedule because they had so many girls who were competing. And at the end of the day, my one client, Jenna, won in the Mrs. division. And one of the girls from my area, Melanie, who obviously has been on the show, her and I got to work together. It was well over a year ago now, but just to be able to see where she was then and now seeing her up on stage winning from close to my area in Chatham, it's really cool. And it's like, oh, now Galaxy Canada is twice the size and in charge because Canada just isn't known in the international pageant space as well. So I feel like this year and next year, we're really like pumping up our delegates so that hopefully we'll be able to show up really strong. But I thought it was fun, and I hope I get to go next year. That would be a lot of fun.
How many competitors were there? Do either of you know roughly? Because it looked huge.
it looked, yeah, there was a lot.
Properly big. Yeah. So Cindy, the director, has done an amazing job to have that many girls attend, and I hope that you can keep that up. Danielle, I mean, you're going to compete internationally. This is going to be the ongoing joke. You're always going to be competing at internationals next year, and it'll just be a case of, well, we're supposed to be in Chicago, now it's somewhere else now.
But where will it be? We still don't know. I think Maria's sitting on it at the moment, in regards of where it's going to be. There was talks of it being Texas because at the back of the program from Junior Galaxy and Belleza Latina, it said the home of Galaxy, but I don't know whether it means the home of Galaxy because it's going to be there again, or it's the home of Galaxy because that's where Maria's based. So she's leaving us on tenterhooks for that one. That was really mean of her to do that because now we're not sure where it's going to be. But yeah, I'm really excited to meet the whole Canada team. This is going to be the craziest pageant because it's going to be double the size, and people are moving in different divisions. I can't keep up. I didn't actually get to watch Canada Galaxy live. I think there was something on the same night as well here in the UK. Like I definitely was.
It's been
somewhere.
a busy couple of weeks.
I don't know where I was
or something. Yeah.
I feel like I was at another pageant here in the UK when that was happening.
I think you were at Diamond from memory.
I was
it was
judging
a while
Diamond.
ago.
Yes, I was judging
That's
Diamond,
right.
and I was refreshing while I was there. So proud of Melanie, Miss Channing Tatum. I can't wait to meet her in person. I'm actually going to meet her in person, which is so cool. Who else? Yeah, I haven't really got to know any of the other contestants yet. Obviously, we all follow each other on Instagram, and I've said the whole congratulations, looking forward to meeting you, but there's been no real dialogue there as of yet. But I'm sure that has time to grow, has a year to grow. Just like how I've now grown with all of the 2020 winners. I'm sure all the 2021, we're just going to be like one big crazy dysfunctional family by the time we get to wherever Galaxy International is going to be.
That's what I mean. I mean, I was thinking, because when I saw Melanie won, I was like, hang on, let me think about this. At International Galaxy, how many of the girls would I actually know personally?
Who are you going to be rooting for, Adrian?
Well, honestly, I mean, because you got to remember back in 2019, the first runner-ups got titles to compete again the next year, which was 2020. So I'm going all the way back to, for example, Australia. Alicia Van Schoonhoven, who's a really good friend of mine,
in the Miss
she in
category.
theory could be competing. And then obviously the 2020 crew, which is yourself, and then the new ones. I'm like, if I. You know, when you go to judge, you have to be impartial. It's like, how on earth could you be impartial when literally like probably 50 or 60% of the girls there are my friends? That would be, because I don't know how many girls are going to be at internationals. It's got to be creeping towards 50, 60. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be an amazing pageant because, I mean, UK Galaxy Pageants is pretty darn big here. I mean, you know, it's a 3-day event here. So I'm going to, in terms of the amount of people there, she might have to make it a couple of days, potentially. Don't know. Otherwise, people will be bored and falling asleep, I'm sure, if they've got 150 girls.
Oh, I've been waiting how long for this?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Make it stop.
Make it stop. Make it stop.
You was
I busting?
Glitched.
Oh,
glitched.
Was I?
You bugged.
That was my rap. Yeah, that happened last time.
He was like, just too many pageant title holders.
There's too much coffee.
The technology broke down.
Oh dear. Well, whenever it is whenever it is. So, Maria, how has everything else been in normal life coming back? Because I mean, you do have a life outside of pageantry, as we've discussed.
Oh yeah.
So, how's everything else going?
No,
Canada's having an election, right?
I'm going to vote.
Like, he called it 2 years into. Oh, is it today? Is it?
We're leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving right after this to go vote. So all my Canadians, go vote. Yeah. So such a crazy time with like having to go get vaccinated, and now we're voting, and now trying to travel and everything. But the biggest thing that I want to focus on, because I love competing, but I love my pageant gals. Like, I love investing in them. And, you know, like even Danielle, like when you have to focus on you, it takes away from those people that you can serve. So I've been coming back and really just trying to dive into those girls, see what are their plans for next year, set them up on a course to make sure that they're well on their way to getting there. It's like when it's other people, I know exactly what they got to do. With me, it's a little bit different, but I've been really focused on business in that way. And then, like I said, trying to put my apartment together as well. Like, we just got our table and chairs, which is very nice. We have a cute little pumpkin because it's fall time officially here. And yeah, we're just actually, is it the first day of fall today? Tomorrow? Maybe?
I don't know, when does this fall officially start? I mean, it's the 21st of September for me.
We call it autumn here in the UK.
Yes.
Oh, autumn. I like that better. But so, yeah, I've been shopping around looking for new bed sets, a new table, furniture, and things like that, which is just, it's so funny and so mundane almost. Like, 1 minute you're getting photographed behind the scenes in New York Fashion Week, walking on runways, and the next you're back in line buying groceries and cooking
buying
your
a
own
table
meals.
and chairs,
Yeah.
buying coasters.
Yeah, so it's funny, but honestly, it's been a lot of fun kind of finally having that way of competing. Because even, you know, Danielle, like you said, oh, I've got to make sure I'm going to these appearances. It's a little bit different when you're already the title holder and you want to be out there and making appearances, but you know there's not a title riding on whether or not you go or not, because it's already there. So there's a sense of peace, a little bit of peace beyond the chaos. That's all okay.
I need this peace
in it all.
And you know what? When I walk into my interview and be like, does the crown need you, or do you need the crown? I'm like, I need the crown so I can feel at peace.
You're gonna get into that interview room. You're gonna collapse in the chair and just go, just get it over with.
Oh God!
I've been waiting
Come on, grill me
for this. You know, come at me. Like, what's the worst you can do? Honestly, I've survived the pandemic. I've survived this. I've survived that. What's the worst a pageant judge can do? Honestly.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I know. Like in my interview room was Danny Walker, Emma Loney. I don't know her last name, but Chandler, who competed at like so many legends, and I'm sitting there amidst the pandemic, and I'm like, there are so many girls who had their pageants postponed, and I am here amongst some of the greatest and interviewing like it's not all going on. It was just so surreal to think about, but I was fangirling at the same time. It was like, pageant's done. Okay, can I have photos with all of you, because I've just been staring at all
Excuse
of
me,
them.
excuse me. Can I have your autograph and a selfie,
Before
please?
we start, can I just say I love
Before we
you.
start the judging section, can I take 30 seconds of my 2-minute allotted time to have a photo with you?
Yeah, I texted my directors. I'm like, am I allowed to go up to them? No? Okay, I'll wait. So
Oh, that's difficult. What's Danny Walker like? Obviously, I've seen her YouTube videos. I've seen a lot of her stuff, but in person, and sitting on the judging panel, was it intimidating because of who she is?
yes, in a word. It was more
Yeah.
intimidating because we had our introductions before. So a 1 minute introduction where their eyes are just staring at you. Like there's no response, there's no feedback visually that they're giving you. They're just sitting there listening to you scoring. And then it was about an hour later that we went into the interview room. And that I actually felt went really well, because that day I already had one interview, I had a photo shoot, and I had my introduction. So I already kind of got the nerves out. And in that conversation, they're really just sweet people. You'd be surprised, like striking as ever in person, because it wasn't until after the competition we got a photo, and these women are just downright gorgeous. Just like not how they physically look, but just in their aura and the way that they show up and present themselves. So that was nice. And I ended up getting the top score in interviews. So I definitely felt very relaxed, and just as if I was there to do what I'd been doing for the last few years, just in this new setting. And obviously they really did resonate with it. And the one thing I got on my feedback sheet was that I was very relatable. And I was like, that was Danny's comment, because of her course that she has, Rehearse to Relatable. I was like, that must have been hers. I never took the course yet, but I was like, that's got to be what she said about me. So I felt like they were all very realistic and very sweet, very professional as well, not talking to any of the delegates. So that all went really well. And yeah, just so cool to see the efforts that the system went to bring in all of these like really high name judges. Yeah, it was a fangirl moment all over.
Yeah, not just dragging people in off the street to do judging. Speaking of pageant judging, are you supposed to, because I did some judging over the weekend for Miss Earth Australia. It was virtual though. Are you supposed to not show facial expression?
I don't think it's not like they ever say that, but I think some of them just want to be impartial and just want to observe what you're doing. And plus, they're judging. They only did the senior divisions, but they probably judged over 150 to 200 women that day alone. Right. So I can only imagine, like, it can be hard to say, oh, okay, that's so nice. And once you start hearing them over and over, everyone's awesome in their own way, but it just starts to get so mundane and dragged out that they're probably just trying to save face and take everything for what it is and not waste their own energy. Like one of the things that girl, and this is a good coaching tip for other girls, because some of the delegates were saying the judges were on their phone, they were eating. These judges are just as busy. Like they don't get any breaks pretty much, if they maybe get a little bit of a lunch break, but they were actually judging on their phones. Like that's where it was all electronic. So don't ever judge your judges for what they're doing. Don't judge the
judge.
Let them take their bite and then keep scoring, because like 7 a.m. they were awake, and then 7 p.m. they were done. It's like a full-time job doing that. So they must have just wanted to conserve their own energy. And yeah, I didn't mind it. I can see how it can be like a little bit of a mental thing for some contestants, but it was okay.
I remember when I was judging Diamond a couple of weeks ago, and I have the worst poker face, in the sense that if someone blows me away, you can see it on my face. And I remember there was one, I'm not going to say who it was. She came out, and her gown was spectacular. And I went, wow. And I was like, oh, I forget that I was judging. I'm so used to being an audience member and being like, to everything.
So,
And now I'm
please
like,
tell me you
whoa.
didn't stand up and start
I was like,
applauding, did you?
no, I was like, oh,
That would have
remember
been
where
the
you
worst
are.
thing.
Remember what
You'd
job
be
is
like,
in hand.
"Woo!"
But obviously, I was in like I would judge was the performance, not just the gown, but the gown did blow me away, and I did go wow. And I'm sure people probably saw me go wow. But that's a good thing, right? That's a positive thing. It's best to go wow than be like ugh.
No, I think
Right.
that's
Well,
fair.
I mean, I was asking because I was told by someone else I was having this conversation with. She said, I asked her if she'd rather receive my content in written form, like as in blogs and books, or video form. And she said, well, anyone else I'd say like written form, but for you, video form. I was like, why? Oh, because your face is so expressive, going on like can't keep poker face. Because she watched like the podcast things and that, and I normally record them in my car because it's like a portable sound booth. And I was telling her, like, I was in a car park recording one of my podcast episodes, and I'd gotten so worked up that I had fogged up all the windows, and I think I was gesticulating so much that the car was shaking. And there were all these people walking outside my car, just staring in, like, what on earth is he doing? He's just inside. There's no one else in there, and he's just yelling at his phone. So that's why I was asking, because we got a comment here from Sheridan. So Sheridan is our Miss Earth. Sheridan, you need to change this. We discussed this. She got her title wrong. She's Miss Earth Australia Air, not Miss Earth Air Australia 2020. And she was on the judging panel with me. And I was just like, yeah, thinking that. Imagine it, because I only had to judge 9. I don't think I could have survived judging 200.
We had like little tinies. We had like little, I think they could walk, but just about age categories all the way up to classic.
I can't do that. I can't. If you can't walk, I'm not going to judge. I feel just it's wrong for me. I judge someone. I don't know, Maria, who the youngest person you judge is, but I judge someone who was, I don't know if it's like probably about 5 or 6 years old. So they come on and do a routine. And she was dressed up as an air stewardess, and she had her little carry-on going along behind her, and she did a little dance. She did the wave, and she did the, this. But you know how, like at Galaxy, they call the first runner-up, and then so the person whose name is not called has actually won. When this young girl heard that her name wasn't called, which actually meant she won, she kicked off the biggest tantrum you have ever seen, stormed off stage, and her mum was also competing and had won the crown. So she's she's got a crown trying to be poised, and meanwhile her kid has run off the stage screaming because she thought she hadn't won. And then she needed to be dragged back on stage and told that she was won, and because at that age you don't get embarrassed. You give her a crown, she's happy. So I don't know. Marie, have you ever judged anyone of that age? I mean, you said you work with older people, so I'm imagining you're not working with 5-year-olds.
No, I have judged earlier this year. There was a competition, and I was judging the talent portion. And it's funny because some of their talents were like TikTok dances. And I thought, how do these little gals know the moves to all of these older, or I thought would be more mature TikTok sounds? And yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you saw the one video. There was this little girl from not from Canada, from World's Perfect. And I think Pageant Planet reposted her, and she was walking down and she was strutting on the World's Perfect runway. It's on Pageant Planet, and she was just the sassiest little thing. This video went viral. Well, I ended up meeting her at New York Fashion Week, and I, of course, like a crazy woman, went up to her mom and was like, "Is your daughter like famous?" And she said, "A little bit." And this girl was the shyest little gal. You would have never guessed. It's so funny how on stage is so different from how they are, because I don't know. I didn't compete when I was a young girl, but they're always just like in that performance mode, and then seeing them off is so different but so precious at the same time that that's why it's hard to judge the little ones, because it's like, is this who they are? Are they doing everyone's doing their best? How do you like dock marks for that?
Yeah. There's like rules here in the UK where you can't mark under you can't give lower than a 6 or something. And I was like,
that's a good rule.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm normally for transparency, but when it comes to like my nephew's only 5, and if I tell him, and if I don't say that he's perfect, basically he has that tantrum as well and storms off. So, I mean, no one wants to see that. So I think for the young ones, I think that's
Yeah.
understandable.
But when the criteria is like out of 10 for hair or something, because sometimes you get a criteria and you give, I stick to the criteria and it's like hair and you've got like a newborn that has no hair. It's like, how do I score this? Like, what do I do? Do I give it a 10 because the poor child is womb fresh and doesn't have hair? Or do you mark it lower because it doesn't?
Maybe you should
can't
just
help that.
judge on the amount of hair. You know, you came out fully haired, you get 10 out of 10.
I feel like going to like the directors, like, please explain to me how I judge smile and hair on a newborn. It's a difficult one, isn't it? It is a difficult one.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I find judging those ones really, really difficult. I mean, it was difficult enough for me to judge, you know, grown women, because I get the feeling, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but a lot of us are maybe not. I love feedback. I love constructive criticism because that's how I improve. Don't tell me all the good stuff. Give me the bad stuff. But I think a lot of people, I've had to learn this, they're not wired that way.
Yeah.
They want to hear the good stuff. And as soon as you tell them even something that's a little bit not 100% perfect, they do the mature version of the tantrum, which is they just start making excuses and they start. Are you guys? Which way are you guys wired? Because I love criticism.
I want the harshest criticism going. Like, give me your worst. Like, I want to know where I'm messing up. But in the UK, I like to do the poop sandwich. We give them
the sandwich.
Good, bad.
The bad, and then finish it off with some good. Just so they're getting a little bit of critique, but also you're not just like giving them all the bad, and that's what they focus on.
You're not just ripping them a new one.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised on how many, because you get judges' scoring sheets here, which are typed up. You'll be surprised at how many here in the UK don't have a section for notes, which I've noticed. So I'd like to give the feedback, but how do I go about doing that in an official way? Because the amount of girls that messaged me after Diamond saying, please, can you give me my feedback? And I just feel really awkward in that situation. So if anyone's watching this that I've judged in Diamond and you asked for feedback and I didn't respond to you, it's purely because I don't know I'd need to go through the director. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to just message a girl back, oh, you did X, Y, Z. You know, I don't want then go back to the director.
Favoritism.
And then the director comes back to me and said, you said this, we don't give feedback. It's just the scores and that's it. So I don't want to get involved in that. But I do feel like if any UK directors are watching, they don't put a note section, please put a note section, because I'd love to fill that out. Just because I think it's really beneficial.
We were given a note section for Miss Earth Australia. I would say we had the benefit of we watch pre-recorded videos. So the thing that annoys me is I do want to give feedback, but when it's girl after girl after girl after girl, I think the priority is to give the marks. The first priority is to give the appropriate marks. And then by the time I take a lot of time trying to make sure I do that, and by the time I've done that, it's like the next girl's on, and you need to watch. You can be scribbling notes about the previous contestant. So I just wish sometimes they would give us a little bit more time between girl coming out, girl coming out. But Maria, because obviously you coach a lot, where do you sit on the constructive criticism spectrum? Because I've been told by some of my clients, and I don't quite know how to take this, oh, I love your brutal honesty. Someone was going to introduce me as blunt. I was like, okay, that's good. So Maria, where do you sit on the blunt to the tactful spectrum?
For me, I'm very aware. So any feedback I get, I'm probably like thinking, yeah, I already knew that. And it's totally fair in that way. So it doesn't hurt as much because I love getting feedback. We don't get better if we're only ever just playing in the same ballpark that we're in. We only get better when we have other people observing us. It's just important not to take it personally, because I was in our group chat for my division and I saw how the feedback was hurting a lot of these women, and they weren't able to kind of separate their personal emotions and worth from just, a simple perspective from somebody else. And I've learned that I also have to ask my clients how they prefer my feedback. If they like that fierce honesty or if they need a little bit more of like the water loving approach, because I've given the fierce honesty to someone who needs a little more water, and that's how I've learned
And
that some are just, everyone
oh
takes it
dear
in their
me.
own way. Yeah, I'm like just a fierce like type A bold challenger type person where I just like to
Yep.
tell it like it is. And I've said to some of my girls, it's sometimes just a check that they need, that I'm asking them, where are you? Like, are you here with me right now? And they hear that and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm on, I'm back, I'm good to go. Because that's how I like to be coached, but I know now not everybody does. And that's all right. But I think at some point we all have to get comfortable with having feedback. So I've been the coach who's like received the feedback, I go through it, and then I give it to my client the way that is best and most helpful for them, because some people just get so triggered by it. So if that's how you are, give it to me first. I'll read through it and then I'll give you it in maybe the lighter way.
Oh, right. So you act as that buffer. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right. Got that. Yeah. I don't do that. I don't have the emotional sensitivity. My client described me as a slap in the face. And she said, in the best way
Okay.
possible, a slap in the face. And I said, I don't really think I should get that as a testimonial, but thank you. I appreciate the sentiment.
Google.
Yeah.
You're a slap in the face. It's just like, yeah, with domestic violence. No, please, no. All right. Well, Marie, she's got to go and vote, so we probably shouldn't keep
Yeah.
her on too long. So before she goes to vote, what have you got coming up? We already said how busy you've been. What have you got coming up from now until, let's say, the end of 2021?
End of 2021. So I leave for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm going to be on the beach. I'm so excited. In 2 weeks from now, I'm starting up a new group. It's a private group as of right now, invite only, called The Purpose Beyond Pageantry, to help women really develop their purpose and identity within themselves outside of competing for a pageant. So that'll be starting in October. And then I am a total Christmas geek. I want to be here. I want to be thriving and decorating in the Christmas spirit. So that'll be my time to kind of just like bask in family time and really get to enjoy. And then hopefully by then we will have started our international service project, and we'll have different community service events each month related to that. But one travel, one group, lots of individual coaching, lots of Christmas cheer that'll be spread once the Halloween autumn season is over, and then planning for the new year, because I love goal setting, love visualization and vision boards. And
Girl, if you
I'm
love
ready.
visualization and vision boards, I don't know if you know her, Maggie G, Megan Goldberger. She has on tomorrow evening UK time. I think it's like 7 p.m. UK time. She has a masterclass, and we're all going to build vision boards together. So if that's up your alley, check it out. I'm going to share it on my Facebook later. I'll send you a link. Yeah, like I went to her other masterclass. Phenomenal. I think it's 10 UK pounds to enter. If anyone is into manifestation, practicing gratitude, the law of attraction, get on it. There's a little plug for you there, Maggie G. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to hop in there while we were on that subject.
No, so powerful. I'm staring at my vision board and almost everything has been accomplished. So now I'm already thinking, okay, what is going to be the bigger, better goal for next year? So that's what's on deck for the rest of 2021.
Love it.
Perfect. Miss Latimer, what have you got on, let's say, for the next
This
week?
So this week is work. Then I've got quite a few clients this week, finishing up Miss Wales photography photos and sending them out to everyone. And then on Saturday, I'm going with Maggie G to the Peers, which is the Pageant Industry Awards. And it coincides with Pageant Queen, which is a new pageant, which is happening. So during the intervals, there will be awards. So it's going to be an award ceremony / a pageant. So that's going to be fun
Is
for
that
Saturday night.
Oh, that's happening, is it? Okay.
The Peers and Pageant Queen, yeah. So I'll be at that.
I just have an unusual request. I remember that I was nominated for something for that. So if I happen to win, Danielle, you can collect
I'll
it for me.
accept on your behalf, of course.
I was nominated like over a year ago, I think. It just took in my memory.
Yeah, so if you win that award, I'll head up there and I'll accept it on your behalf.
Do your best Aussie impression.
I will. Thunder from down under.
Yeah. How you going, mate? Thanks for this.
How you going? It's like to
Checking in the back of
on
me.
behalf of me old mucker, Adrian.
Oh, if you're going full Australian, Maria, I don't know if you know this, but we use like really harsh swear words as terms of endearment. So if you want to go full Australian, there's probably
This is for you,
call
yeah.
me some small little words. Yeah,
That'll go down like a lead balloon at a pageant event, I am sure.
Just say it's me. It's fine. You're doing me, so it's okay. Oh dear, but yeah, continue.
So I'll be at that, and then looking after 2 very naughty little kittens. Shall I grab them? Do you want to grab them?
Yes.
Do you want to see them?
Can you please?
I'll go and grab them. I'll let you natter away while I go get the kittens.
Oh yeah, we had a kitten at my work the other day. We weren't sure if we were allowed to bring it in, and we're like, just bring it in. And it was just so sweet and so soft. I thought I was a dog person, and I think I was turning into a cat woman. So this is where it starts.
I don't know why some people are so, because I put this on my story just the other day. A lot of people think cats are very antisocial and very independent. I think it's on a cat by cat basis though. Like literally my cat, which is a rag doll, which is what Danielle's about to bring on if she can find them. They're such sociable creatures. He literally follows me everywhere. And if I close the door, like I have to close that one because I don't want him in here because he mouths quite loudly, he will be at the door just crying and crying to let him in. So... Oh, I can hear. Oh no!
Ooh.
Oh no! Oh no! That's done it.
Those are pretty. Those are like a queen's cat.
They could fit in a crown. You could literally wear one of your crowns, and they could both curl up in there.
There they are.
They look like they're from a movie.
Hang on, Danielle. There you go.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, dear.
Hi there.
They have bows.
So this is
dear.
Morris. This is little Morris.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, what's that, Murphy? Morris, you got there. Murphy? Ooh. Don't be scared. So yeah, this is my life now with fur babies. They currently hate me. Yeah. They're climbing into a box now.
That's so cute. That's Maria. That's just what you needed to see before you go to vote in the election.
Yes.
Kittens.
I love to see them. Love to see it.
Nightmare. Okay, come on, boys. Out you go.
All right. Well, whilst Danielle throws the kittens out, Maria, look, congratulations again, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, and thank you, Danielle, for bringing the kitties. They're so precious. And yeah, I'm happy to be here again.
Okay. I told you they're very loud, and that's
Danielle, what we need to do next week is you need to set up a separate webcam and just have like kitty cam. So the whole time whilst we're talking, we can just have a cam like dedicated to the little kittens.
Okay, I'm putting them outside now because they are very noisy.
Okay, I'm going to let Danielle do that. Maria, I'll let you go to vote. Thanks to everyone for watching live or on the replay. Take care of yourselves, and we will speak to you next time. Oh, God. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder to you entrepreneurial types to come and join us at our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/the pageant boss. I'll see you inside and see you in the next episode.